So now we're live, and anybody who has the link and is viewing can view, and anyone who has a link who can share will be in, just like Peter here at the bottom, and can see what's going on. So as I'm presenting, you'll want to make sure that you're wearing your headphones. These ones are overkill, but any kind of headphone will work. It'll stop the echo from your presentation and make it much better. You'll also want to mute any of the people who are, the people who are listening. You might want to think about muting your mic so that you don't hear everybody's like brushing and rustling around while the presenter is presenting. So that's a big piece too. Think about how you're doing your lighting and how you're managing yourself. You'll find that, like, if I do this against a window, right, the lighting's pretty rough and it's hard to manage. But if you think about your lighting, you're gonna have some advantage there. I'm gonna see if I can show you one thing, if I can do it. So right now I am using a cool little camera that looks like this. So the cool thing about that is I could mount this camera up and I can actually do my presentation standing. So you can think about how you're doing your presentation, but the base will work certainly just fine. So right now I have my MacBook with a little camera built in. It's working great. But if you wanted to sort of take it to the next level, you certainly could, and you could put in one of these HD cameras. And what I often do is mount it to the wall. Then I can stand up and I can present in a more comfortable environment for me. That's just me. As far as the toolbar on the side, you've got a couple different options here. So you're probably going to find that your presentation is visual. You might have a deck, you might have something you want to present. So this green square here is your screen sharing option. So if you click on that, you can share your entire screen, or you can share just an application. So I'll choose my entire screen and share, and then I will choose what I want to share. So in this case, I've got my Twitter page, homepage up, and I could talk somebody through what notifications are, what a message is in Twitter, and the audience can see whatever it is I'm seeing, right? Or here it is, Make a Difference Professional Development Day. You can see the visual, you can see all the things we put there. So whatever it is that I see on my screen right now, Peter and the rest of the audience see it as well, as long as I'm screen sharing. So figuring out a way to toggle back and forth from screen sharing and not screen sharing might be a little bit of a tricky thing, because once you're sharing your screen, you can't see your audience. It feels like you're talking to no one. So think a little bit about how you want to manage that, when you want to share your screen, when you don't. It might even be a good idea to put, if you have a Prezi, for example, maybe you put that link in the show notes so that people following along can look at the Prezi on their own without having to rely on you just sharing your screen. So those are sort of the big functions there. Before we finish that up, Peter, what do you think? Anything I'm missing on that? You're still muted, Peter.
Here I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
No, I think you did a great job, Derek, of explaining everything. The only thing I might suggest is, if you're going to share a video, that you might not have it done through YouTube. You might want to just share it as a MP4. Streaming might be
yeah, any sort of audio or video you're going to share, think about sharing it not through your shared screen, but rather actually sending someone the link. So you're saying, or playing it on a downloaded version, is what you're saying?
Yeah, play the downloaded version. If you're sharing, doing a screen share, and you want, say, your participants to watch a 1 or 2 minute video, you definitely want to have that downloaded as opposed to streaming it off of the internet.
Awesome. Yeah. There's something else I didn't touch on, which was the actual selecting your hardware. So if you decided to get fancy, so I have a little mic that I use and a little thing that I use, and a little camera that I use. You can actually select that by going to the top. You've got a gearbox. If you go to your gearbox, you can select your cameras that are available and your microphones that are available. So I just plugged in a new microphone. I could choose that one, and then I'll have the sound coming out of my microphone instead of my computer. So if you did decide to plug some of those extra pieces in, there is some ability to work at the settings on that point. So you can try that. All right, sound good?
Perfect. Okay, I'm gonna mute my mic again, Derek, just because I know you'll continue to present. So I think that's important as well, because when you have 10 people on, if they don't have their mics presented, there's going to be a lot of background noise. So I will mute.
All right. Well, yes, agree with the mute mic thing, but I have to say I'm not sure I have much else to add. I think you just go through your presentation, toggle back and forth from the screen share to the not screen share when it makes sense. And don't be afraid to give out the links of what you're doing as well. So you'll notice the group chat here on the side, and you can add anything that's important. So if you want to send somebody to something in particular, you can add your important link here in the group chat. People might want to ask questions that way so they don't feel like they're interrupting you. That's certainly an option as well. So between all that, I think that's about it for the presentation.
And I'm unmuted again. So yeah, it'll be a 15-minute presentation followed by about a 10 or 15-minute Q&A as well. So we're only looking for a 30-minute time commitment from the presenters. Certainly you can offer to present, more than one session, but we know that it's running for 12 hours because we want to allow as much time for people to share as possible. But again, the commitment for a presenter really is only a half an hour.
Absolutely. But if you want to do a bunch, go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. We already have a few people signed up for 2 or 3, believe it or not. And what we're seeing so far is incredible. We're getting pretty excited about this. It's getting big. I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much, guys. And take the plunge. It's, I think, a pretty manageable plunge.
And
you've seen there's a video out there that you can see to how to make this this YouTube link, and now this little video to show you how to present, and off you go.
And then, Derek, I just want to add one thing as well. I think the important thing here is it's such a great platform because we can have people watching live and then people participating live on air, which you and I are doing right now. But the most important thing is that your one idea that makes a difference that you're excited about sharing gets archived. You can share this with so many now different people, and we're all going to have them compiled almost as a library. But that's the power of doing this and sharing it and having it archived. So I think that's really important. Derek, now just one last thing before I go. Are you going to then just continue with your screencast explaining to the audience how they will share the link, like how they'll finish and then share the link?
Yeah, I did the how to share link on the front end of the other video, so that should be good. And then so Peter and I had talked sort of at length about how to do this technically. So the reason we're giving this tutorial that you, the presenter, are creating the link is that now when I press stop broadcast, what's great about YouTube Live is this will immediately be saved and put on my YouTube account. So whoever you are, if you're a presenter, this piece of this product will be branded and associated with you because you've created the chat and you've created the link, and then it will go to your YouTube account. We'll put it on the Mad PD library and we'll archive it there, but it's yours. So you can share it however you like, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, reference it whenever you want, and it will always be branded as yours. Even on our site, it'll be branded as yours. So that's an important detail, I think. Yeah,
and absolutely. And if a presenter is not happy with the way it went for some reason, by no means do they have to share it. But again, this isn't...
Well, they could yank it. Even if they chose to share it, they could yank it because they have ultimate control over it.
But I think it's important, too, that nothing has to be perfect. This is just our way to share our ideas. So let's get going with this.
All righty. All right, thanks, Peter. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye, Derek.